Today I want to talk about how to set up your lifestyle for a great physique. Now, this topic has come off the back of two questions I've received recently. The first one was actually about meal timing and what's important. And the second one was someone who's doing the Boss Body project wanted to know in the weeks leading up what they could do to set themselves up for a really good challenge. So what I'm going to go through today are the fundamentals or the habits and behaviors that we need to be implementing in order to achieve a great physique. Now, so many of these aren't what people want to hear, but it's only because they're kind of boring and you can't pay for them. In a sense that more often than not, when someone is about to start a fat loss phase or they're getting back into the swing of things, the questions usually come at us in terms of supplements. So what supplement should I be taking? Do I need to be taking BCAAs? Just things that really will not have an impact on your result. And I understand it's probably coming from, that get a quick result kind of thinking, but unfortunately when we're looking at a great physique and being able to maintain it long term and not have to be dieting the whole year round and for most of our life, then we really need to be setting up our lifestyle in a way that is conducive for us to look great and feel great. I know I'm talking mostly about aesthetics and I'll probably get rammed for that, and feel great year round, okay? So let's start with the absolute very basics. What do we need to look at? So we've got sleep. We need to be making sure we're getting at least 6.5 hours, potentially up to 8 hours of sleep per night. This is going to impact how you feel during the day, your training intensity, your recovery, and your ability to comply with your diet. So we've got sleep, then we have hydration, which is another basic one that we need to make sure we're having. It's a little bit different for everyone depending on your weight, but maybe something like 2 to 3 liters, maybe even 4 liters if you're a bit larger per day. Again, that is going to impact on energy, mood, blood sugar, and therefore compliance and intensity. So from there, we also have stress management. Again, stress management is going to have an impact on your ability to train, ability to recover, and ability to comply with a training and a food protocol. My cat, I'm just gonna keep going. So after that, then we look at calories and protein intake, especially if we're in a fat loss phase, and I'm going to primarily concentrate on that now. Your protein intake is going to be very important, but as we know, we cannot out-train a diet that isn't conducive to our goals. So if we're in a fat loss phase, we're going to have to be in a calorie deficit. Now, where do we go from here? So just say we actually have been able to create a lifestyle where we've nailed all of those things. Then from there, we can start looking at nutrient timing, which will give you some benefit. For example, it is important that we are having anywhere between, say, 20 to 40 grams of protein. Again, it's slightly dependent on your body weight, spaced out evenly throughout the day. So you might look at, say, 3 to 4 servings of protein spaced out from morning through to night. And now this is going to help with recovery and building muscle mass or maintaining muscle mass. So from there, we might look at carbohydrate intake, and we're looking at using your carbohydrates to help fuel a really intense training session. So with carbohydrates, we'll probably be looking at including them in our diet pre and post workout. And of course, you can see how you feel in terms of how intense your training sessions and muck around with the timing of your carbohydrates if you would like. But as you can see, those things, whilst they are important, we just can't get around some of the other things higher up in the hierarchy. For example, with calories, I see a lot of people at the moment, especially with their MyFitnessPal apps, they're concerned about the macronutrient percentage ratio, because that's what MyFitnessPal kind of spits out at you. It says you should be having, for example, say 40% protein, 30% carbs, 20% fat or whatever. And people really get hung up on hitting those percentages whilst they're not actually looking at their calorie intake. Your calorie intake is the thing you have to hit first before you start worrying about those things. Again, not that it's not important, but if you're not in a deficit in a fat loss phase, you're not going to be losing weight anyway. So I hope this provided some context for you on what is important. And the other thing I wanted to mention is that we really need to be hitting these things as non-negotiables if we're looking for a great physique result every single day. So a lot of us are in a position where our friends and family or our social circle doesn't train and don't have physique related goals. Now, you could be thinking, well, I'm going to the gym, therefore I must be on the right track. And it's probably because, if you're not surrounding yourself with people who are doing all these things naturally as part of their habits, then it can be really easy, I guess, to think that the next step must be a supplement or something like that. But what we need to understand is if we're looking for a great physique or, really healthy lifestyle and a great physique, that these are some basic things that we need to be ticking off that actually a lot of people are not ticking off anyway. And like I said, they may not be like sexy and you can't really wrap them up in a bow and sell them, but there is no getting around the fundamentals. So hopefully that video was really important just to bring home again the importance of the basics. So sleep, water, stress management, calorie intake, protein intake, and then meal timing. And you'll notice I haven't touched on supplements at all just yet. So if you found that video helpful and it really helped put in context for you what you need to focus on first, let me know in the comments below.